in the field of embedded system, industrial IoT, vehicular telematics, augmented reality, and reconfigurable computing. Now may I request Dr. Jonathan Joshi sir to please take forward the section of applications of IoT in Industrial 4.0. Please sir.
Thank you, Pushpreet. Thank you, Dr. Pankaj. Thank you, Yogendra, for inviting me for this guest lecture. I'm assuming my screen is visible. The PowerPoint presentation, is my screen visible?
Yes, sir. Yes,
okay,
sir.
Great. So I'll be switching off my video. So just
no problem.
So just a couple of points for everybody. In case you all want to ask me questions, please feel free to interrupt me at any time. Feel free to ask any questions, because this is more of a discussion for you guys. I have done this many times in industry as well. So it's mainly for you guys to ask questions. Feel free to ask any questions in terms of whatever you would want to. Feel free to challenge me, put me on the spot. It's more of a discussion rather than just a lecture. Okay, guys. So I'm just going to switch off my video. Okay. So guys, what are we going to look at, right? We are going to look at IoT applications in industry. Now, when we say IoT applications in industry, it's mainly from an industry standpoint where IoT is applied, but mainly from an industrial perspective. Now, most people think that when it's IoT, it's basically only taking sensor data and putting it on the cloud. So people think that, okay, you have a cloud and I have some sensor. Okay, and when I put this data on the cloud, this is IoT. Well, this is very basic IoT. Okay, this is not how IoT is applied in industry. There are a lot of challenges that one must understand, and that's what I'm going to discuss today. So first, let me just walk through what is Industry 4.0. Everybody's talking about Industry 4.0. I'll just quickly walk through. So Industry 4.0 is basically what they call as the fourth industrial revolution. Okay. Now there was the first industrial revolution, second, third. This is the fourth. The fourth industrial revolution is focusing more around what they call as the digital factory. Okay. So when we say digital factory, means most of your factory operations will be digital. Means very little human intervention. So it's very little human intervention. So you can say that the factory will work on its own. That's the end goal. Okay. Now there are a lot of technologies. I'm not going to go into all of those technologies. Okay. However, one focus area, as they call it, industrial IoT or IoT Internet of Things. Now today in industry, IoT does not work on its own. It works hand in hand with machine learning and big data analytics. So if you, today when somebody says industrial IoT, okay, industrial IoT works hand in hand with machine learning as well as big data. Now, why is that important? And I will explain to you in 5 minutes, but please understand today, IoT does not work alone. If you, tomorrow, if you decide to start your own company in industrial IoT or anything related to IoT in industry, please remember, you will have to bring some element of big data and some element of machine learning. Okay. Let's say if you don't bring machine learning, but these two are basic requirements, which is industrial IoT and big data or analytics, data analytics, that is the basic requirement. This has become fundamental. As in Hindi, we say, dal roti ho gaya abhi hai. So you need this. Please understand this. There are other aspects as well. Now, to be very frank, this big data and machine learning runs on the cloud. Okay. So cloud by default is important. So what I'm trying to say is in today industry 4.0, you need industrial IoT, but with that you need big data and analytics, which will run on the cloud. And if you want to make smart manufacturing, what they say we call as smart manufacturing, then you will also need machine learning. Okay, guys. So let's continue. Now, what is IoT, right? Let's just understand some basics and then we will get on to. I want you all to understand the definition with very simple, let's break down, okay? IoT is first a network of physical objects, okay? So it's physical, sensors with embedded electronics. So objects that have embedded electronics, software, sensors, and actuators. So what do you mean by sensors? Your sensors could be, for example, temperature sensor. You could have a motion sensor. You could have a pressure sensor. Okay. Then what do you mean by actuator? Actuators are basically, you must have heard of this thing called relay. Your relays control your bulbs, tube lights. So relays, motors. Some electronic students will know solenoids, but basically sensors and actuators. Now sensors and actuators, they connect to what they call as an embedded system. So embedded system is like your processor, okay? And on your embedded system will run some software, okay? So basically back to our definition, what is an internet? What is Internet of Things or IoT? It is a network of physical objects. So you will have physical objects that are, which have embedded electronics, software, sensors and actuators. And all of these are connected to a network. So they are connected over a network. Okay. Now I hope you all understand what is a network. Okay. So it is connected over a network. Now please understand this keyword. Okay. To enable them to collect and exchange data. So basically you have, I will say object 1, you will have object 2. They are connected over a network. Okay. Now, as please understand, remember what I said. IoT is not just about exchanging data, means you're sending the data, but the objective, please understand. What are you doing? What are you exchanging data for? The objective is to create intelligent applications and services. So in like 5 years ago, if somebody used to ask us, what is IoT? We used to say, just taking sensor data, putting it on the cloud, that is called IoT. Okay, fine. 5 years ago, that was IoT. But now, IoT is not just sending data, but the objective is, please understand, to create intelligent applications. Okay, so tomorrow, if you create an IoT project, but if it does not handle an application, correct, then it is of no use. Please understand, nobody will buy it in industry. I hope that is clear. All right, guys, please understand that anytime you decide to make a project, not only should you be deciding to exchange data but you also need to make sure that it is for some intelligent application. So let's continue. Now, I'm using this word IoT common architecture, right? Why are we saying what's the common architecture? Because you need to understand that there will be different permutations and combinations. Now, the reason why I'm spending some time here, because please understand that in industry, for industry 4.0, each factory or each company has its own specific issues. ठीक है, तो सिंपल हिंदी में अगर इसको बोलते हैं ना, जैसी बीमारी वैसा इलाज. Okay, so please understand that there will be some permutations and combinations. Sorry about that. Okay, sorry. Yeah, there will be some permutations and combinations. but I want you to understand what is the general architecture. Please understand this very carefully. Because once you understand this, then we'll be in a better position to understand the different cases or applications that I'll be talking about. So first, they call it a thing, but thing is basically nothing but your sensor slash actuator plus embedded system. Okay, so basically you have your sensor and your embedded system, correct? Now, in technical word, radio is not your All India radio or FM radio. It is basically the transmitter module of your wireless unit. The transmitter module is called as your radio. So the transmitter module is called as radio. So basically you read the sensor data from your embedded system and then you transmit the data. Now here you can have different wireless interfaces. Now, why am I telling you all this? Because in industry, remember that I said each industry has its own specific issues. Okay. So you have different wireless applications. And as I told you again, Jaisi Bimari Vaisa Ilaj, one size does not fit all. So please remember one thing, in IoT, different situations and applications will have different wireless technologies. Let me give you some names. For example, you have, I'll just write it here to create some more space. So let us say you have BLE, or also called as Bluetooth Low Energy. BLE stands for Bluetooth Low Energy. Then you have RFID. And when I say RFID, we mean by active RFID. Then you have LORA, LoRa. LoRa stands for long range. Then you have Wi-Fi. Then you have GSM. GSM is your mobile. So you can use any of these wireless technologies to create your connectivity. Okay. So what is a gateway? Gateway means your embedded systems will send data to one central location called gateway. And this gateway will then send the data to the cloud. So if you see, the sensor side is called as edge. It's called as edge, EDGE, edge. And the cloud side is on the cloud. Okay, so sensor will read the data, send it to the radio through the radios. I'm sorry, send it through the radio. As I said, you can have any of these options. It sends the data to a gateway. Okay, and then the gateway will push this to the cloud. Okay, guys. Now, tomorrow, if you want to be a good IoT engineer, you must know these wireless technologies very well, all of them. BLE, RFID, LoRa, Wi-Fi, GSM. Now, let's come to the cloud side. Okay, remember what I told you. If you look at our previous definition, we need to create intelligent applications and services, this part. Now to create intelligent application and services, first you need to take the data and store the data. Okay. Now, the technical term is called ingestion. So I'm sure in English you must have heard this word digestion. So digestion is when you take the food and digest it. Ingestion is taking in the food. So when you eat the food is actually called ingestion. So when you take the data, you ingest it. So in your cloud, you need one application on your cloud to eat the data and store the data. Now, as I told you, 5 years ago, this was the definition of IoT, taking the data, eating it and storing it. But today, remember, we have to create what we call as a meaningful application. If you remember, I used the word meaningful application. So for that, you need to create some logic. Now, trust me, I'm making this very simple for you all to understand, but when you try and implement this, it takes quite some time. because every company has its own issues, you have to define something called as business logic. And let me tell you from my experience, 50% of your time will go in defining the business logic. Business logic in simple Hindi means कि बॉस ये डेटा के साथ क्या करना है, क्या लॉजिक इंप्लीमेंट करना है और क्या दिखाना है, in very simple words. So the trigger and alert processing that you can see here, this is your business logic. Okay. Now business logic is, let me give you an example. Let us say that you are working on a diesel generator in the factory. That diesel generator has a vibration sensor on it. Now, if the diesel generator starts vibrating beyond one threshold, it has to give an alert. Now, the logic for the vibration sensor is put here. Now, after that logic is implemented, you will have to also create a visualization. Visualization matlab ye alert kahan pe dikhega and how will the person see it. So that is your visualization. Please understand, you might have good business logic, but if your visualization, if your visualization is not good, you can forget output. Please understand that. So for example, agar vibration ज़्यादा आ रहा है, for example, but अगर मैं engineer को सही से बता नहीं पाऊँ, if I'm not able to show the engineer कि what is the problem and where is the problem, how will the engineer solve it? So at the end of the day, visualization plus business logic is very important when you need to create a meaningful application. This is very important because today you will find 1,000 different devices, 1,000 different embedded systems. So you can take any embedded system depending on your application. However, 50% of your time will go in creating your meaningful applications, which is the trigger and processing and visualization. Okay. And finally, how will you deliver the visualization? So we call them visualization delivery. So visualization delivery, this is on user side. So finally, as I told you, that at the end of the day, if your engineer or your manager is not able to correctly understand ki karna kya hai, then it is of no use. So I hope that we are all clear in terms of what is IoT today in industry. This is just at a high level. What is IoT in industry today? I will repeat. You have your embedded side, which is your processor, sensor, actuator. Then you have your wireless interface, which could be BLE, RFID, LoRa, Wi-Fi, or GSM. Then you have your cloud side. In your cloud side, first you have your ingestion and storage. Then you have your trigger and alert processing, which is your business logic. And then you have your visualization. And finally, you have the visualization delivery. Means fine. अपना simple word में आप बोलोगे कोई app या website होगा. Okay. So I hope this is clear. So Yogendra sir, are we taking questions in between or shall we leave it at the end?
Sir, we'll leave it for the end, sir. We'll take it directly at the end.
Okay. Or if you want every like 20 minutes, 25 minutes, if you want, we can open it up for questions. It will be more interactive that way.
Okay, we can try it out. So students, if you have, or all the participants, if you have any query regarding whatever the contents have been covered till now, you can ask in the chat box. You can write your query in the chat box, or you can raise your hand so that we can ask you the question also. We can allow you to talk. Okay. So we can continue, sir. If we get any query, then we'll move on further.
Sure. So sir, so I think Ronak Jain raised his hand, sir. If you can just and sir, please, I would need your help with the questions because I'm in tablet mode. So I'll need your help with the questions, sir. Sir, any questions?
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, why there is a need of using gateway? Why can't we directly send data from the embedded system to cloud itself?
Correct, good question. So in certain applications, you might not need gateway. Some applications you need gateway. So gateway is not compulsory.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir, we have one more question from Siddharth Bansal. Sir, can you please enlighten about the business logic in little bit detail? So they are not much clear about that.
I told you, right? So business logic is basically, finally, what is the business objective? Let me give an example. Let me give you another example. ठीक है? तो हम लोगों ने एक project किया था for a tire manufacturing client. Okay. So in that, the tire manufacturing client basically, the objective, let me see if this is, so the objective there was, when the tire finally जब वो tire बनता है, वो process को बोलते हैं curing बोलते हैं. I'll just give an example. तो finally जो tire पकता है rubber का, ठीक है ना, if that tire, अगर वो उसका center, जो center होता है जहां पे वो tire बैठना चाहिए, if that is more than 2 millimeters, अगर वो 2 millimeters से भी ज्यादा error पे गया, 2 millimeters, let's say 6 millimeters, 2 to 6 millimeters से ज्यादा हो गया, मतलब it is off center, that tire will not give you equal pressure when the tire runs on the car. Imagine 2 to 6 millimeters. So now the question is, if your machine is able, Abhi, please understand. So if your machine is able to track that my tire has moved by more than 2 to 6 millimeters. So do you agree that the tire has to, the manufacturing of that tire has to be stopped right then and there? So that stopping of the tire, so first the measurement, that is the sensor. Then the stopping of the tire within 2 millimeters to 6 millimeters, that logic is called as business logic. Okay, कि वो सेंसर से क्या करवाना है, सेंसर तो सिर्फ डिस्टेंस देगा ना, बट वो डिस्टेंस का लॉजिक कितना लगाना है, क्या लगाना है, दैट इज कॉल्ड बिजनेस लॉजिक. आई होप दैट वाज क्लियर.
Okay, yes, sir. We can proceed.
Okay, great. All right. So we'll continue. Feel free to keep posting questions every 10-15 minutes. We'll have. So we have another hour, right? Give or take.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Thank you. Now, golden question. Why do we need IoT in industry? Simple hint. Follow the money. Okay. Basically, for in industry, why do they use IoT? Industry में कोई भी चीज क्यों यूज होता है, प्लीज समझो. ठीक है, पैसे बनाने के लिए. Okay, so in a recent survey, if you look at in manufacturing, why do people use IoT? So manufacturing benefits of industrial IoT. So if you see the highest benefit is to reduce cost. Means क्या होता है, your manufacturing cost by using IoT, your manufacturing cost comes down. So obviously when your cost comes down, your profit goes up. So why do they use IoT in industry? The major reason is to reduce cost. The second most important reason is to improve equipment uptime. Equipment uptime मतलब मेरा equipment ज़्यादा देर operational रहेगा. So obviously ज़्यादा देर operational रहेगा तो ज़्यादा product बनाएगा, ज़्यादा पैसे बनेंगे. So the second logic is also, when it comes to money, is to improve operational equipment uptime. Third is to increase operations speed. Operations speed means all your factory is working faster. So when your factory is working faster, again, you are making more products. Okay. The third, the fourth and the fifth points are not directly related to money. So if your product quality is better, so for example, in a lot of pharma, in a lot of manufacturing of tires also, they are using image sensors or cameras. Cameras help you detect whether the tires are properly aligned or not, whether they are of proper shape. So product quality, IoT is again used to improve product quality. Product quality से क्या होगा? Customer will be happy. कस्टमर हैप्पीनेस से और कस्टमर्स आएंगे, तो डायरेक्ट पैसा नहीं आएगा, but first 3 points, as you can see, is directly related to money. So please understand that. Why am I telling you this? Tomorrow, if you decide to come up with a startup or you decide to start an industrial IoT company, if you go to any new client or customer in industrial IoT, first tell them along any of these 3 points. When I say these 3 points, is your product should either reduce their cost or should it help them improve their factory uptime or keeping their machines running or increase the operation speed. Then only will they entertain you. Please understand this. If you tell them it improves safety, they'll be like, okay, very good. If it improves product quality, then they might still listen to you. But if you come up with any of these first 3 points, they will definitely listen to you. That was the point I was trying to make, is tomorrow, if you ever think of industrial IoT, first think from a financial or a money perspective. Okay, I hope that's clear. Now, please understand, in today's industry, we always say IoT is the postman, but analytics is the letter. I hope you understand the difference between postman and letter. Okay, means the postman is a person who delivers the letter, but the main letter is also what matters. So analytics is basically the information that you will transmit. So please understand, today in industrial IoT, it is all about decision making. So if you look at the previous slide, as I told you, that to reduce cost, to improve any of these parameters, as I told you, this, or this, it's all about decision making. Please understand that. So what I'm trying to say is IoT without analytics will fail. Now, today you will have to do IoT with analytics if you want your applications to succeed. This is, I can say this on record. I have not, for the last 3 years, I have not seen one industrial IoT application which does not have some analytics in it. Okay, guys? So please make sure you do that. Now let us look at first example, right? I have taken an example from an architecture from Microsoft, but it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, they are all the same. Whether you use IBM, whether you use Microsoft, whether you use AWS, whether you use Google Cloud, all of them, the structure is almost the same. This will take some time, guys, so please pay close attention. I am not going to go in absolute detail, but I want you all to understand how this works. Okay. A second. Okay. Now, so here, let us see. First, as we know that you have your connecting, sorry. So first you have your connecting and controlling devices. If you look at this entire diagram, as you see, the actual IoT, as I said, the sensor collection and data collection, if you see, is a very small part. Everything else is all about analytics and decision making. So let me walk you through some basic understanding, because see, I want you all to understand this is how it works in industry. So for most students, please do not get scared. Okay, I want you all to look at this and please understand कि industry level पे अगर जाना है तो ये level पे सोचना होगा. Okay, so first let us say you have your various sensors, okay, and you have your actuators. Now whether you have a gateway or you don't have a gateway, that is fine. Now please understand, once this data comes, first you have to collect and manage the data. Okay, in that you have a database, okay, and you also have some data tables. Okay, now why do we need these data tables? Because you must have heard of something called as SAP, or also they call it SAP. SAP is basically your factory your entire company's data sits in a local ERP. It's called Enterprise Resource Planning. I will not get into those details, but basically all your company data sits on SAP. I'm giving an example as an SAP. All of this needs to be managed. Now, basically, let me give you one example. Okay, please look at this very carefully. So let us call this operator as John. Okay. Now this operator, basically, make him a very lazy operator. Okay, let's look at this situation. This operator is a very lazy operator. Okay. And he is operating this machine. Okay. Now, what this guy does is, whenever he sees the machine vibrating beyond a certain limit, then only he will switch it off. Okay. Now, what is happening is the sensor is logging the data. Okay. And the machine here, the data goes to the ERP system, and the ERP system is checking that the last time did John make the same mistake. And if he made the same mistake, let's say 3 times, then this data is sent to John's boss, who's a remote expert. And John's boss can finally call up John and tell him, "Ki boss, look, you are making this mistake again and again. If you do it again, I will remove you out of the company." Okay. So if you look at it, what was the end goal? The end goal is the life of the machine. The life of the machine needs to be improved. So IoT was just sending the data, but you had your business logic here, and the business logic basically took that logic, sent it to his boss, and his boss was able to call up John and tell him, "Ki, John, I think that you're not going to work in this company if you continue doing this." This is one example. Okay. I hope this one simple example. Now let me show you another example. Okay. This is slightly more elaborate, so please follow me carefully. Okay. Now let us say this remote expert removed John out of the company. Now there is no John. Now this remote expert wants to monitor this machine. Now the remote expert wants to monitor this machine sitting at home. Okay, I'm just giving an example. Now what is happening? So all the sensor data is first coming into your database. Okay, so the sensor data is being stored. Now this data is being fed into a machine learning algorithm. Now the machine learning algorithm has, as you all are aware, it has some training models and prediction models. I will not get into those details, but basically the machine learning algorithm is monitoring the data of the machine. Okay. It is monitoring the data of the machine, and there basically what is happening is, let us say the machine learning algorithm is able to predict, please understand, it's a machine learning algorithm, so it will have some accuracy. It is able to predict that this machine is about to fail. Which machine? This machine. Okay. This machine is about to fail.
Sir, please unmute your mic, sir.
I guess he's on a call.
Okay.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah. So basically what happened, what will happen here is, let's say if the machine learning algorithm is able to predict, that this machine which one? This machine here is about to fail. So what will happen is it will directly send a notification to your expert, and the expert can, on his app, shut down the machine. So how does this data go? This data will go back like this and shut down the machine. So first, what was an application? So let's say we did workforce monitoring. Okay, so we did workforce monitoring. That was the first application. There are many applications. I'm just giving some examples. Number two, we call as predictive maintenance. So you are able to predict that the machine needs maintenance. Okay. Third, very simple, you can do your factory monitoring. When I say factory monitoring, just not workforce, but overall, you can monitor the entire factory. So the point I was trying to make here is, if you look at IoT in a factory, there the IoT part is not just the data collection, but it has many other parts which I want you all to understand. And that in today's industry is very important. So it's not just collecting data, you have decision making, business logic, machine learning, and finally, as I said, finally you need somebody to take a decision, and that's where it matters. Okay guys, I hope this part was clear. I will pause here again if there are any questions. If not, I will continue.
So participants, if you have any question, you can ask. I guess no questions here, sir.
Okay,
so
great.
We can proceed.
Okay, so I think I've already discussed this particular situation in the previous slide in the smart factory. So I'm going to skip this. The architecture also I have discussed, correct? Where you have your sensor nodes, you have your wireless technologies, but here I can say that you can use LoRa, BLE, RFID, Wi-Fi, and GSM. So as I said, Jaisi Bimari Vaisa Ilaj, different technologies have different advantages / disadvantages. Okay. Again, as I said, you will need a network server, you need application, and if you want, you can feed the data into the company's ERP system. ERP means Enterprise Resource Planning. So I think I covered this in a lot of detail in the other two slides, correct? This is very important, right, guys? I want you all to understand this slide, very important, because finally, ये सब जो IoT, मतलब in where does IoT finally get used? Okay, so let me give you some examples so that you understand. Okay. So first, and finally remember, what did I tell you? It's all about the money. Okay. So everything will boil down to whether it helps the company make more money or save money. It's finally making more money or saving money. Okay.
Sir, there is a question. Like participant would like to know, like, what is the requirement of remote expert? Instead of that, we can use a system which can automatically shut down the machine, AI-based system.
Okay, good question. So see, the idea there is machine learning algorithms are not 100% accurate, number one. Okay, number two, it sounds very simple on paper that you will have an algorithm that will monitor the machine 100% accurate. So please understand, today, when it comes to these large machines, it does not have one parameter. It has like 30 different parameters. And human intelligence and human experience still plays a very important role. So today what happens is you have algorithms which help the human make a better decision. But finally, you still need a human to make a decision, because the machine learning or the deep learning algorithms are not 100% accurate, which you can say that they can replace a machine. That's the major reason why. Okay. Any more questions, sir?
No, sir. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks. So first, finally, as I told you, it's a combination of machine learning plus IoT, right? So first application is quality assurance, correct? Quality assurance is, can you make good quality products? As I told you about the tire example. The second is demand forecasting. Demand forecasting means, can you, based on the demand मतलब एक example दूंगा, like for example in a car manufacturing plant, car manufacturing में, let's say in the month of September, they will apply some machine learning and they will say how many cars, कितने cars का demand आएगा. So that is called demand forecasting. So based on machine learning, you are able to forecast कि last 5 years Diwali में ये हुआ था. Obviously last year was COVID, so all machine learning algorithms went up in the air. But generally every year companies use that, and based on your demand forecasting, मतलब कितना बनाना है, you will then program your machines. So you will then program your machines, and that is called production scheduling. Production scheduling means कौन सा product कब बनेगा. So especially in cars, tires, toys, anything, right, which is based on demand, you will have to do production scheduling. Means today how many products will I make. So I hope you understand. इतनी गाड़ियां बनानी है तो इतना raw material भी मंगाना पड़ेगा. वो raw material कैसे होगा, तो उसके orders सब automatically जाएंगे. Okay, so that is all part of your production scheduling. Then comes anomaly detection. Anomaly detection means to find, is there a defect in my product? Number 2, is there a defect in my machine? So how do you detect? That is called anomaly detection. That is also done using sensors. Then, as I told you, predictive maintenance. Predictive maintenance means based on your sensor data, can you predict that my machine will fail or there will be some problem in my machine? These are all used regularly in industry today. Then you have supply chain and inventory optimization. This is slightly higher level. I'm going to skip this for now. Correct. Supply chain means it's a different juggernaut altogether. But for your industrial IoT, these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements are very important. Okay. So I hope this is clear as to why you need to do all of this. So we went through all these slides, right? Connecting data, ingestion, advanced analytics, and decision. Finally, it's all to address these range of scenarios. I hope that is clear. So this is your industrial IoT for, IoT for smart manufacturing. But in Industry 4.0, it's not just smart manufacturing. I will show you some other use cases as well. Okay. Use case number 2, asset tracking. Okay. So tracking assets. This is another use case we have seen. So let us say you have a construction site. Okay. Now, construction site, basically, let's say you have one mini truck. Then you have one excavator, more commonly you all know it as a JCB. Then you have a cement mixer. Okay. Now, let me give you a very simple practical example. Okay. Why do you need to track all of them? Simple point. The word is called productivity. Productivity in very simple हिंदी अगर मैं बोलूं, आपका सीमेंट मिक्सर का ड्राइवर है, ठीक है, he has come on site, वो साइट पे आ गया सुबह 5 बजे, ठीक है, उसको बुलाया 5 बजे, वो क्या करेगा, सुबह 5 बजे आएगा, ये पार्क करेगा और फिर एग्जैक्टली फॉर द नेक्स्ट 1.5 आवर वो जाके चाय पिएगा, काम स्टार्ट होगा 7 बजे. बट हिज कॉन्ट्रैक्टर इसके कॉन्ट्रैक्टर ने पैसे लिए सुबह 5 बजे के. So how do you track productivity? So what you do is you put sensors on all of them. Correct. You put sensors on all of them, and by sensors we not only mean just GPS. It could be active RFID, it could be LoRa, it could be any. Basically, you want to track where is my asset, and more importantly, is my asset active, and third, is my asset doing work. Okay, so this actually, so all these examples that I'm taking, I have actually worked with real clients, and let me tell you, if you ever decide to do any asset tracking project, please remember that these are your key questions you need to ask. Number one, where is my asset? Number two, is my asset active? And third, very important, is my asset doing any work? Because if you just say the asset is here, that is fine. But at the end of the day, if your asset is not active and not doing work, then it's not going to function. So basically, this application is used extensively. It's used a lot in construction. Then it is used on factory floors. So large factory floors where you have different types of moving equipment. And I don't mean machines. You have assets. So in construction also you have, we have used this for railway construction. We have used this for commercial construction, building construction. So third, we've also used this in, we've used this in, I forgot, in oil refineries. So we've used asset tracking in oil refineries also. Basically, as I told you, you need to ask yourself these three questions. Where is my asset? Is my asset active? And is my asset doing work? Okay, this is the second example. The first example was smart factories. We saw in detail what are smart factories, where are they used, what are the different applications. The second application, as I told you, is asset tracking. Okay. I will get into. I'm sorry.
वो जो टेक्निक्स को यूज करके मैं अपने अंदर लाया, मैं इस वीडियो के थ्रू चाहता हूँ आप लोग भी अपने अंदर लाएं चीजों.
And somebody go on mute, please. Yeah, thank you. So this is the general architecture. So number one, as I told you, so this is old technology. Now, sorry. One second. Sorry about that. Most technologies now, they are active RFID, correct? And now it's not just scanning. Now they actively transmit data. So the manager or the storage yard manager has his tracking app and is able to track which machine. As I told you, those three questions: where is the machine? Is my machine active? And third, is my machine doing work? So all of that is he's being able to track it on his app here. Okay, so that's just the little detailed description of the application. Finally, as I told you, all of this needs to come into some analytics, because let me give you an example. So हम लोगों ने एक project किया था construction company के लिए. In that we had that the construction company wanted proof. उसको proof चाहिए था कि उसका जो contractor है, जिसके trucks है, वो लोग 100% काम नहीं कर रहे, बिकॉज उनको पूरा कॉन्ट्रैक्ट रीनेगोशिएट करना था, और ये कॉन्ट्रैक्ट छोटे नहीं होते, साल के 50 करोड़ के कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स होते. तो हम लोगों ने जब ये पूरा एक्सरसाइज किया था, हमें पता चला कि द वर्कर, उसके जो मशीन्स है, दे आर वर्किंग ओनली 60% with 60% efficiency. Please understand, 40% inefficiency, that is very high. So that helped the client we were working, the client saved roughly 15 crores on this entire exercise. Okay, so this is across all their construction sites. So please understand, at the end of the day, the analytics got the number of 60%. Okay, without analytics, you wouldn't have had the 60%. So please understand, IoT without analytics is of no use today. Okay, guys? All right. Okay, so the third use case, before I move on to the third use case, if there are any questions, I'll be happy to take them.
So can you give some details exactly how you estimated that they were running only 60% of the time? I mean, what type of sensors, or how did you find that out?
Sir, I can give the details about the sensors, but how that is a proprietary algorithm which was used by the company, that I will not be able to disclose. Apologies for that, because I have an NDA with them.
Okay. No issue. I mean, that sounded interesting. Actually, I'm also from civil background, so I thought...
I will give some insight into it as much as I can. I'll be happy to discuss that, sir. Okay. Let me find a blank. So I'm just going to use this slide to explain it. Okay. So basically, first let us understand. So we use the combination. So first let us take a application of, let's say, a JCB. Okay. So we had a JCB and a cement mixer. Okay. And actually, this helps me to come to the next one also. Once again, my pen is okay. Sorry. Yeah. So we have the JCB and the cement mixer. Okay. Both basically come into like a truck category. Okay. So what we were trying to do is, both of them have something called as an OBD port. OBD stands for on-board diagnostic. Okay. So first you had asked what is the sensor we had used. So first we used, and so we connected something called as an OBD device. I'm actually going to discuss this OBD device in this application also. But OBD device basically kya hota hai? The OBD device, or it is called on-board diagnostic. On-board diagnostic. So OBD device also has, so the OBD device connects to the OBD port or OBD wire of your JCB or cement mixer. Now some JCBs have it, some JCBs don't. So we had to do some jugaad there. So the OBD device was able to measure, number one, the location, because the OBD device had a GPS. Number two, sorry. Okay. Yeah. Number two, the OBD device was able to measure whether this JCB is idle. Idle मतलब to stand steady. मतलब वो क्या करते हैं ये लोग, engine चालू करके बैठे रहते हैं, ठीक है, चालू रखो मशीन को, पेट्रोल खाता है, ठीक है. So it is able to measure idling. And third, based on the RPM is revolutions per minute. Based on the RPM, you are able to detect whether this guy is working or not working. मतलब जब वो JCB कुछ काम कर रहा है तो definitely उसका RPM high होता है, ठीक है. Now what was the algorithm used, that I won't be able to disclose, sir, but basically we are able to look at the idling and the RPM and able to arrive that these guys were working at 40% inefficiency or 60% efficiency for the time of the day that they were given. Okay. So using an OBD device, the OBD device had a GPS and it also had a motion sensor. So using a combination of all of this, we were able to find out whether at this. So this was rough. This was the high level way that we had done this. I hope I was able to shed enough light.
This makes sense. So basically, each automobile or probably each heavy earth moving equipment has some port which can send out data, and you collected the data, and based on that you figured that out.
तो सर वो पोर्ट है, वो पोर्ट पे हमें एक डिवाइस कनेक्ट करना पड़ता है.
Connect and the device, right. The device will collect the data. Okay.
Now suppose if that JCB, so some of the old JCBs before 2013 do not have those ports, correct?
Okay.
So we had to do some other sensor jugaad there.
Okay.
Because they have JCBs from 2008 also, and you cannot say कि we'll only put on new JCBs, then it does not serve the purpose, right? So these are business questions, and at the end of the day, the client said we need to put it on all. So this is one project we had done. So this was fairly interesting to discuss.
So, hello.
Right, sir.
So one more question.
Okay.
So, Jonathan, sir.
Yeah, please, sir.
Yeah, so this OBD port is like kind of part of this ECU or something else?
I'll just, I'll give you your answer.
Okay, sir.
So basically, so your car here, the car has something called as ECU. Okay. ECU basically is called engine control unit. Okay. Now, ECU has something called as a CAN bus. CAN stands for Control Area Network. Okay, so ECU has a CAN bus. और ये जो आप यहाँ पे port देख रहे हो, this is like a CAN port. It's a CAN bus port. ठीक है, और इस पे आप क्या connect करते हो? You connect one OBD device. So this entire architecture here is an OBD device. Okay. Let me see if I have an image of an OBD device. nahi hai. Okay. So you can just Google OBD device. Basically, it's a device that fits into your car. Okay. I don't know, अगर आपने कभी कोई गाड़ी को अभी सर्विसिंग के लिए लेकर गए होंगे तो आपका मैकेनिक उधर एक कुछ फिट करता है और एक एप्लीकेशन आता है बाहर. ठीक है. That is basically an OBD device. So the ECU sits inside your car or your vehicle, in this case, the truck. And you, I mean us, the engineers, we fit an OBD port. That OBD port then reads the data, the embedded system over a CAN bus reads the data, and then we analyze the data. So here we also had a motion sensor, and there are some other data points. And based on that, then we send the data to different places. I hope I answered your question, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Okay, so I mean, so I hope the construction, the asset tracking application was clear. Okay, so up till now we saw two applications. Number one was smart manufacturing. Number two was number two was asset tracking, correct? Number three, I'm going to go through this a little quicker because it's easy to understand. Okay. This was a very interesting project we did 2 years ago. Basically, this is called vehicle IoT, okay, and telematics. Telematics matlab sending data far. Telematics means to send data far away. It's basically IoT only. But let me show you some application. First, logic is very simple. You read data from the car. Okay. Okay, you read the data from the car, which is great. But how do you give data so that the person can make decisions? Okay, this is the fun part. Okay, so let me show you an example. But first, I hope it is clear. In the car, you have an ECU. I will just repeat this and draw it for you all again, just for everybody to understand. You have an ECU in the car. ECU stands for engine control unit. You read the data from the engine control unit using a CAN bus. The embedded system will read the data. And then once you read the data, you have your GPS location from the GPS receiver. And then GPRS is nothing but your GSM mobile network. You send your data over the mobile network to the internet. But the fun part is, how do you give some data to make decisions? Okay. So this is one simple I can give you. one high level view. Okay. So first application is location tracking. Okay. Location tracking. So location tracking is basically, now all the new cars, they come with apps. So you can also give your app to somebody else and they can track your car's location. You can also track your car's location. Where is my car right now? Where is it parked? If it's here. So simple is location tracking. The second is geofencing. Please understand. And by the way, all of this is on the analytics side. Please understand. कार का काम क्या है? वो OBD पोर्ट से डेटा भेजना. Okay. All of this is on the analytics side. So geofencing, हम लोगों ने एक प्रोजेक्ट किया था कि फॉर वन ट्रक कंपनी, उनके अंडर अराउंड 2000 ट्रक्स है. ठीक है. तो 2000 ट्रक्स में उनको देखना था कि कभी कभी इनके ड्राइवर क्या करते हैं. सपोज मुंबई टू दिल्ली जाना है तो ये लोग अहमदाबाद रूट लेके नहीं, दूसरा कोई रूट लेके चले जाते थे ऐसे ही. ठीक है. और बोलते थे रास्ते में ट्रैफिक है, हमें लेट हो गया, बट जबकि वो लोग थोड़ा घूम घाम के आते थे. सो जियो फेंसिंग बेसिकली tells that if you are supposed to go to this route, you make a fence, and if this particular car or truck goes outside of the fence, then it will generate an alert. So this is one application. Correct? Again, what I'm trying to say, in telematics using cars or even trucks. Then one more application we did was emergency calling. Emergency calling means, suppose it's a large truck and the truck overturned. Overturned मतलब कभी कभी ट्रक गिर जाता है, उल्टा हो जाता है. तुम्हारे जो बड़े बड़े ट्रेलर्स होते हैं, तो तुम्हारे OBD में एक मोशन सेंसर है, and based on the motion sensor, you can directly send an SMS or a call to the fleet manager. तो fleet manager को directly एक कॉल जाता है कि ये so and so truck. So the fleet manager can then call up the driver और immediately check कि कौन से लोकेशन पे है, कहाँ पे है. ठीक है. So that's another very important feature. Third feature is diagnostic. Diagnostic मतलब the OBD port can detect. The OBD port can detect कि is there any problem with the engine? Is there a problem with the engine? Okay. And that sometimes the driver is ignoring. मतलब उसका वो light indicator on आ गया है कब से, but वो driver ignore करते जा रहा है. But because of telematics and IoT, the manager can already see कि there is some alert. Suppose 10. I'm sorry. Okay. That if there is any issue with the vehicle, somebody can see it. So these are some real life applications, because इससे क्या होता है, तुम्हारे ट्रक का लाइफ बढ़ेगा, तुम्हारे ड्राइवर्स और एफिशिएंटली काम करेंगे. ठीक है. नाउ उसी से एक याद आया, हम लोगों ने एक एप्लीकेशन बनाया था फॉर अनदर क्लाइंट, व्हिच वाज बेसिकली, दिस इज नॉट दैट एप्लीकेशन, ये मैंने एक एग्जांपल लिया हुआ है. इट्स कॉल्ड अ ड्राइवर स्कोरिंग सिस्टम. ठीक है. मींस इट्स एन एप्लीकेशन टू, जो ड्राइवर सही से अच्छा ड्राइविंग करता है उसको आप और रिवॉर्ड करो. सो अगर वो बहुत सारा, अगर वो हार्श, इफ इज ड्राइविंग हार्श, फॉर एग्जांपल हार्ड एक्सेलरेशन, हार्ड ब्रेकिंग, स्पीड, बहुत स्पीडिंग कर रहा है, तो ही गेट्स अ लोअर स्कोर. सो बेस्ड ऑन दैट the driver gets a score, and based on the score he's given a reward. So this is what we call as a driver behavior monitoring system. And all of this is based on your IoT data from your ECU or engine control unit. Okay. So this is another very interesting application that we had built. Concept वही है, गाड़ी के ECU या ट्रक के ECU से डेटा निकालो and then you do some interesting analytics on it. Okay. And there are many such driver scoring systems available in the market today. Okay, guys. So I hope that is clear. So this was basically vehicle IoT and telematics. Okay. Before I go on to the last application, If there are any questions, I will move on to the last application.
So I guess one question from my side, sir. So the OBD tracker, what we are talking. So these will be in almost all the latest vehicles. So what kind of sensors or what generic sensors, if you can flash some light on that? You
So,
use
sir,
in
OBD devices are
replacement
not
of
in all cars. Please understand.
Yes,
वो
yes.
इस OBD पोर्ट सब गाड़ी में आता है. Okay.
Okay.
उस पे आगे आपको OBD डिवाइस लगाना पड़ेगा.
Okay.
और उसमें, for example, in that OBD device, so normally that OBD port is just below your steering wheel. Okay. अगर आप स्टीयरिंग व्हील के नीचे थोड़ा नीचे से देखेंगे ना उधर, तो उधर आपको शायद उधर ही दिख जाएगा. थोड़ा घुसना पड़ता है नीचे. ठीक है. और इट समटाइम्स बिहाइंड योर स्टीयरिंग व्हील, मतलब नीचे. सो वहां पे you have to fit the OBD device, and OBD device, there are different types. So some OBD device have GPS in it, some are without GPS, some are GPS GSM, some are GPS GSM with motion sensor. अलग अलग टाइप के आते हैं.
Okay.
So जैसी बीमारी वैसा इलाज.
Okay, sir. Okay. So
Okay.
I guess there are no more questions from participants, so we can proceed.
Sure.
Sure, sir.
Okay. The fourth one is labor tracking. Okay. Now labor tracking is a very interesting, project that we had seen. So basically, what happened is, again, this we did for one railway construction case के लिए. ठीक है. Very interesting, and we had done it for a factory also. Basically, what happens is ये labor आते हैं and factory में आके पहले पंच इन कर देंगे. पंच इन मतलब वो अटेंडेंस करके, और फिर सब लोग 1 घंटा चाय पीने चले जाएंगे. ठीक है. तो there was no way of monitoring कि कौन किधर है, कौन सा लेबर कहाँ पे है, क्या कर रहा है, whether वो अपने जोन में है कि नहीं है. So what we used was IoT for labor tracking, right? So there we used one technology called as BLE. BLE stands for Bluetooth Low Energy. Okay, Bluetooth Low Energy, sometimes also called as BLE 4.0. आजकल BLE 5.0 भी आ गया है. तो बेसिकली सब Bluetooth Low Energy है. So basically concept वही है कि every worker is given a BLE tag. Okay. Now, let's say this is a tag, and based on that, there are what we call as BLE receivers, or also called as BLE gateways. You can call them whatever you want, BLE receivers or BLE gateway. So I will draw them as R, and I will draw the tag as T. So basically क्या हो रहा है कि I will show you here. So let us call each anchors as R. R are your receivers. Okay. The concept is very simple, but implementation is a nightmare. Okay. So these are your receivers. Now let us say this guy has T1, this person has tag 1, this guy has T2. Similarly, this guy has T3. Now, what we will do is tag 1 is transmitting to all the anchors. So let us call this R1, R2, and R3. I hope you all are clear. So tag 1, T1, is transmitting to all 3 anchors, R1, R2, R3. So each receiver will receive the signal. It will receive the signal with some power. Okay, तो कुछ receiving signal strength होता है ना, signal power. आप मोबाइल फोन पे देखते हो ना कितनी डंडियां हैं, करेक्ट. 1 डंडी 2 डंडी वैसा पहले जमाने में आता था. अभी थोड़ा कम हो गया. ठीक है. बट कॉन्सेप्ट वही है कि नेटवर्क कितने डंडी में आता है. सिमिलर, दैट्स कॉल्ड सिग्नल स्ट्रेंथ और पावर स्ट्रेंथ. सो बेस्ड ऑन R1, R2, and R3, you use something called as triangulation to find out where is this person, where is tag 1, where is tag 2, where is tag 3. Okay. So you run that algorithm and then you ask the same question. Where is the worker? And number 2, is the worker active? ठीक है. So what you do is, अगर वो बंदा स्मार्ट है, अगर उसने टैग को कोई एक लोकेशन पे रख दिया उधर और चले गया कहाँ चाय पीने के लिए, so you can find out through some smart algorithms whether this worker is active, because your power will almost stay constant. Okay, so there are smart ways to find out where is the worker and whether the worker is active or not. And at the end of the day, what do you want to track? Simple question. What is the decision? Are my workers productive? Okay. So this technology was implemented. This is for labor tracking or also worker productivity. And now certain factories had also used it for what we call it for social distancing. Correct. That they wanted to make sure only certain people are in one location. So the same technology was also used for social distancing. But logic wahi hai. You use the tag, and using the tag, you then use bunch of receivers, and that using triangulation. But this is done using Bluetooth Low Energy, because you need to make sure that the technology is battery powered. I guess
So
there is a question.
Can we use geofencing here?
So yeah, the answer is no, because the problem is GPS does not work indoors very well.
Okay.
GPS indoors accurately काम नहीं करता. So that's the problem. Outdoors, yes, you can do that. So yeah, you can also now in certain security areas, you are able to track which employee is where. So which employee, whether they are in a they are in a zone for more than a given amount of time. So that is another application. So productivity as well as visitor flows. So these were the 4 applications. Basically, first we saw smart factories, then we saw asset tracking for construction sites. Third, we saw vehicular telematics on how you can use IoT in vehicles. And fourth, we saw labor tracking and labor productivity. So these are the 4 different applications for IoT. I guess just on time. So any questions? Happy to answer them.
So participants, if you have any question regarding anything regarding industrial IoT, so we have our expert here. You can ask him, and he has enlightened us on these 4 most important aspects in the industry, like the asset tracking and vehicle trackings and smart factories and all these things. So that's a very insightful talk. And basically very much detailed, like what kind of sensors and what kind of system, the basic architecture you have discussed with the students. So I request all the participants, like if you have any question, please ask to the speaker. Jonathan sir is there to answer you. He always invites the queries. So in the meanwhile, Jonathan sir, participants come up with some question. As you have demonstrated so many applications in various domains, I would like one more help from you, sir. If you can guide our students and all the participants, like how they can start, like what are the various skills which they can learn so that they can work in this direction. So some basic skills so that they can start with.
So number 1, सबसे basic skill है ना, you'll have to be very good at programming. Okay. Fundamental programming has to be strong. And when we say programming, matlab not just basic programming, application level programming. I'm saying application, not app programming, application. So see, the only way to learn is, do as many projects as possible. And I'm telling you, like, if you want some skills, fundamental skills are programming skills. Number 2, build a project. Let's say take one project with BLE in it. Just do some basic project on it. So at least you learn what is BLE. Take one project with LoRa in it. Take one project with Wi-Fi in it. क्योंकि वो project करके ही तुमको समझ में आएगा क्या दर्द है उसमें. ठीक है. And without doing a project, if you're saying कि, and let me tell you, like, so see, what any skill for IoT will give you for that particular technology, right? For example, अगर आप IoT सीख रहे हो for BLE, तो आप उसमें BLE के nuances सीखोगे, correct? But अगर आपको IoT सीखना है, अगर कोई बोलता है what do I need to become an IoT expert, एक्सपर्ट बनने को तो 5-6 साल लग जाएंगे, लेकिन IoT इंजीनियर बनने को मिनिमम 2 साल लगेंगे तुम्हें, बिकॉज तुम्हें उसमें एम्बेडेड प्रोग्रामिंग सीखना होगा, तुम्हें उसमें फिर BLE, LoRa, वाईफाई, RFID मिनिमम 4 चीज सीखने होंगे, करेक्ट? फिर थोड़ा बहुत क्लाउड के बारे में भी सीखना होगा. सो इट्स अ जर्नी, करेक्ट, जो आपको 1.5 से 2 साल लगेंगे. बट इफ यू नो ऑल ऑफ दिस, देन यू विल बी इन गुड डिमांड इन इंडस्ट्री, करेक्ट? तो that's the journey I would suggest for you to take as a student. So learn your basic programming first, then take each wireless technology and try and learn 1 to 2 different embedded interfaces. So see if you can learn anything to do with ARM, or you can do something called as PIC microcontroller. Microchip का एक PIC microcontroller, ये embedded side पे है. So I can just draw a list for you. On the communication side, you can do BLE, LoRa, वाईफाई, RFID, GSM, ठीक है. एंड थोड़ा क्लाउड साइड पे, अगर आप कंप्यूटर साइंस के स्टूडेंट्स हो तो क्लाउड साइड पे ज्यादा फोकस रखो, ठीक है. आप इलेक्ट्रॉनिक साइड हो तो ये 2 पे ज्यादा फोकस रखो. सो क्लाउड एप्लीकेशन डेवलपमेंट, तो क्लाउड में यू शुड नो हाउ टू वर्क ऑन MQTT. MQTT इज अ प्रोटोकॉल, ठीक है. इन IoT मैक्सिमम MQTT पे काम होता है. गूगल कर लेना, जिन लोगों को नहीं पता है ये सब टर्म्स अभी याद रखो. राइट नाउ इट माइट सीम लाइक ग्रीक एंड लैटिन टू यू, बट you know, you can go ahead with and at least look up these terms, and understanding little bit of machine learning does not hurt. की प्रॉब्लम क्या है, हम लोग का भी जोक है इंडस्ट्री में कि IoT भले ही तुम्हारी बहू है, लेकिन मतलब डेटा एनालिटिक्स तुम्हारे ससुराल वाले हैं. मतलब तुम जितना भी ट्राई कर लो उनके बिना, मतलब तुम नहीं कर पाओगे. सो
thank you very much, sir. So we have a few questions in the chat here. The first question is like, can we use wristbands that detect human interaction along with ID support?
हाँ, so आपके जो टैग्स होते हैं, a lot of them are wearable tags, ठीक है. So when we say ID support, मतलब I am assuming you mean by wearable, right? मतलब वेरेबल रिस्टबैंड्स, राइट. सो आपके मैक्सिमम BLE जो ऑन साइट होते हैं, अ लॉट ऑफ देम आर रिस्टबैंड्स, और दे आर क्या बोलते हैं, लैंडयार्ड्स, ID कार्ड्स, ठीक है. कंस्ट्रक्शन साइट में हेलमेट पे होता है आपका, ठीक है. सो उसमें फिर हर एक टैग का एक ID होता है. सो एवरी हार्डवेयर हैज अ हार्डवेयर एड्रेस, और उससे आपका टैग ID बनता है.
Okay. We have one more question, sir. So how can we use IoT in large sector like in monitoring of Indian railway networks? And what will be the optimum use or the opportunities in IoT in coming next 5 years?
Okay, I'll answer the first one. So
Yeah.
Railways is using IoT right now, ठीक है. मतलब वो GPS तो ऑलरेडी लगा दिया उन्होंने काफी टाइम से, ठीक है. इसलिए आपको पता चलता है ये ट्रेन कितने देर में आ रही है, नहीं आ रही है. वो थोड़ा बहुत तो उन्होंने काफी लाइंस पे स्टार्ट किया हुआ, ठीक है. नंबर 2, all the new engines, correct, they are all fitted with your sensors, and those sensors are being monitored, ठीक है. तो रेलवेज में तो ऑलरेडी यूज हो ही रहा है. अब इंटरेस्टिंग ये भी हो सकता है कि तुम्हारे जो बोगीज हैं उसके ऊपर आप IoT लगाओ, तो देन you can have you can monitor the air condition, you can monitor predictive maintenance, all of that can be done. So railways is looking at IoT, but again अपने स्पीड से कर रहे हैं. पहले इंजन पे ज्यादा फोकस कर रहे हैं, because engine is more important than the bogies, ठीक है. Opportunity, what will be the optimum use? I don't know what that optimum use, IoT is meant for optimum use at the end of the day. The opportunities for IoT is definitely there, but remember one thing, as I told you, so remember one thing, guys, either you are an outright expert on hardware, ठीक है, मतलब आप हार्डवेयर लेफ्ट राइट एंड सेंटर आपको सब पता है, और you are an outright expert on software, which is basically you know how to do cloud programming and machine learning, or you have done enough work that you know the problems in the entire stack. Correct. So opportunities बहुत है. Correct. But just by saying कि बॉस मैंने ये सेंसर का डेटा क्लाउड पे डाल दिया और मुझे IoT आता है, is no more IoT. Please remember that. ठीक है. Opportunities बहुत है. ठीक है. Because अभी भी पूरा, but today IoT comes with analytics. तो IoT भी अगर करो तो थोड़ा analytics या machine learning का आइडिया होना अच्छा रहता है. That's what I would advise.
So is there any more questions, participants? So I guess that's all the questions, sir. So thank you very much, sir. Oh, so there is one question from participant. Yeah, okay, you can, participant, you can either type it in the chat window or you can ask directly.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, you are audible. Yes.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes.
Sir, sir, as you told that you was created a project which was you created a device for 200 trucks to मतलब आपने ड्राइवर्स को ट्रैक करने के लिए आपने एक वो बनाया था ना प्रोजेक्ट.
हाँ हाँ हाँ.
तो सर वैसे ना कुछ सीन ऐसा भी होता है ना कि जैसे कुछ ड्राइवर ऐसे भी होते हैं कि वो मतलब गाड़ी में से जैसे ना डीजल निकाल लेते हैं. कुछ ड्राइवर ऐसे भी होते हैं ना जो मतलब गाड़ी से डीजल निकाल लेते हैं.
हाँ,
तो सर अपन मतलब यस सर.
Ajay, your point is right. So basically हम लोगों ने क्या किया था, in certain cases there is also fuel sensors attached in trucks. ठीक है. तो फ्यूल सेंसर भी आपके OBD पोर्ट को कनेक्ट करता है. तो सर्टेन सिचुएशन में अगर वो उसने फ्यूल चोरी किया है वो भी पकड़ा जाता है. So your answer is right. Yes, वो भी यूज होता है आज इंडस्ट्री में.
Thank you, sir.
What is preferable in industry point of view, Arduino or Raspberry Pi or any controller? Arduino or Raspberry Pi? Neither. Neither of them. To be very frank, Arduino और Raspberry Pi क्या देखो, they are, please understand, Arduino और Raspberry Pi क्या है? They are platform जिससे they are called prototyping platform. Prototyping platform मतलब कि उससे आप अपने ideas को try कर सकते हो. ठीक है. अब सिंपल अपन गली क्रिकेट खेलते हैं ना, गली क्रिकेट में हम लोग टेनिस बॉल के बैट से खेलते हैं. ठीक है. तो इमेजिन योर Arduino and your Raspberry Pi is और गली क्रिकेट का टेनिस बॉल का बैट. ठीक है. उसको तुम अगर सीजन बॉल के सामने डालोगे 3 बॉल के बाद वो 2 टुकड़े में तुम्हारे हाथ में आ जाएगा. ठीक है. सो सिमिलरली योर Arduino एंड Raspberry Pi आप इंडस्ट्री के एप्लीकेशन में नहीं लगा सकते. उसके अलग प्लेटफॉर्म्स बोर्ड्स आते हैं. तो दैट्स व्हाई आई सेड दैट यू नीड टू कंसीडर ARM और PIC, स्पेशली PIC. PIC करके एक माइक्रो कंट्रोलर है, काफी यूज होता है इंडस्ट्री में, ARM यूज होता है. दोनों दोज आर योर इंडस्ट्री. तो थोड़ा ARM. सो फर्स्ट मैं ये नहीं बोल रहा हूँ Arduino Raspberry Pi मत करो, प्लीज करो. ठीक है. बट वो सीखने के बाद नेक्स्ट लेवल ARM और PIC पे भी जाना बहुत जरूरी है.
Right, sir. Very right. So thank you very much, sir, for answering the queries of our participants and getting the participants on the aspects of IoT, specifically in the field of industry. Industry. One more question is there. Hello. Okay, that's some misunderstanding of the question. No more questions, sir. So thank you very much, sir, and hope we'll meet very soon in this year.
Absolutely, sir. Hope so too.
Sure. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for the session.
Okay. So,
and
thanks, guys.
Thank you so much, sir. And to all the participants, I would like to announce that the second session of our today's event will be on the Google Meet platform. Link is already shared with you guys on the WhatsApp. Please check your WhatsApp for the Google Meet link, and all of you are requested to kindly join on that link. Thank you very much.
Chalo, sir. I'll drop off.
Thank you
Thank you
very
so
much,
much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pankaj sir. Thanks everyone. Take care. Have a nice day. Good luck. Bye.